Ta-da!
Hello gamers, Matthew here from lovely fall-like Lund, Sweden. For today's episode of Box to Battle, we are going to do a brief follow-up episode to the previous episode in which we opened a box of Skaven Doomwheel. As I mentioned in the previous episode, I was waiting to attach this banner until I was able to get my magnets in the mail, because I really wanted to magnetize this. As you can see here, this banner is pretty easy to break off once you have it in place. So what I did was I took my magnets and I went ahead and I made a little magnetized structure for it. And I'd like to just show you how that looks. And in addition, I would like to show you something else I was able to make with the remaining bits of the Skaven Doomwheel. And here are the magnets that I ordered in order to be able to pull off this project. These are N52 magnets, and they are extremely strong, 1mm by 2mm. They work great for these kind of projects if you're going to be using them for other things like attaching weapons and things like that. Great little magnets, really cheap. I think the whole set of 100 of them costs less than $3. Really tiny. I'll put a Skaven clan rat next to it so you can see how that looks. Now I went ahead and used 7 of these magnets to make a small base and to attach it to the banner on the Doomwheel. Alright, let's go ahead and show you what this looks like with the base. What I did was I went ahead and used magnets in 2 places. I really wanted 2 points of contact so that this would be stronger, but also when I noticed when I had just 1 magnet on, the banner tended to turn around like this and it wasn't quite as strong. So I went ahead and made 2 bases here. Now the interesting thing, and I think a really important little feature of this, is that I set these magnets up on different polarities. So they only attract to the specific magnet that it is intended to. So if you see here, this magnet is rejecting that magnet. And over here, this magnet is rejecting that magnet as well. So basically, these will just snap into place where they are supposed to be. And of course, I mean, snapping into place is the right word because these magnets are so strong. You get that banner anywhere close and it just pops right into place. And like I mentioned, I have only 2 points of contact, so 2 small 1mm by 2mm magnets. But yet these magnets are strong enough that I am able to pick up the entire Skaven Doomwheel by the banner. So it's basically just those 2 magnets holding it in place. And the beautiful thing about this now is that when it's time to store it or to ship it, to bring it to a game, you can just go ahead and remove the banner and send that off separately so you don't have any risk of any damage happening. So there you go, a nice little example of how you can use some magnets on your Skaven Doomwheel to magnetize your banner. To wrap up this episode now, we can just briefly point out one more thing that we were able to do with the bits that came along with the Skaven Doomwheel. All of these rats right here, these giant rats, came along on sprues that you're supposed to be able to use on the base of the Skaven Doomwheel. Now, I didn't want to use them on the base, but I decided instead that I would make a rat dart of giant rats out of this. And what you can see here is that I got 6 different bases here. 3 of the rats are fairly large, the ones in the front, so those look pretty much like giant rats. The ones in the back are a little bit smaller, so I ended up putting 2 of them on each one of the bases to give it the appearance of a bit more size. Now I made a little base for this, and what you can do now is take a handler. In this case I have the Island of Blood, one of the handlers for the rat ogres. Throw him on the back, and you have got yourself a little giant rat dart that you can use now in your games. So there you have it, a couple of tips for making the most out of your Skaven Doomwheel kit. Thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.